Surprise! We're doing the new intro song early. Man, I had everybody fooled. I'm sure you guys are like, what happened? I've been telling you guys, episode 200 this entire time, and sure enough, here's the new intro song. And holy shit, it took a long time to actually get that process done. Committing to an intro song after over 3 years of the podcast, I got really picky. So I used like a bunch of royalty-free stuff and some stuff I made on Apple Loops or whatever the fuck. And it took up until recently when I was like, you know what, let's do something special because we've been around for a while, and I wanted something that was unique to Classroom Brew. So big shout out. I'll show you guys. There's a behind the scenes video that I'm going to release on patreon.com/classroombrew to see the painful process it was to find the right singer and create the music and all that stuff. So that's patreon.com/classroombrew. That's also where you can get like the koozies and coasters and shot glasses and all that stuff that we've got lined up for you. So for this one, I've got this like mucho mango. It's the usual juice that I use with my rum, but it's in a hard seltzer. But since I don't actually like seltzers that much, I've got a nice little cider as well. So we got a whole new setup as well. So if you're drinking along with this one, fantastic. If you're not, or you're not a teacher, whatever, you can still enjoy it. So we're also in a new space right now. This is the sound studio that I used to use when I would do voiceovers, but now I'm using it because, you know what? Let's get some green screen in this room and use the sound-treated shit to actually get things going. But if you're new to the podcast, welcome to it. My name is Ryan. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach for a few different sports, instructional coach, became department chair, do a podcast called Classroom Brew that you're now watching right now. And I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now. The job stuff too. The podcast almost 4 years. So it's a podcast designed to just let teachers let loose a little bit. Whatever your comfort zone is for letting loose. Because as you know, we kind of have to be prudes. We have to pretend like we don't actually go out and have fun, drink a little bit or whatever your vice is. We have to act like we're these perfect humans, which is just not the case. So it's a chance for us to kind of, we have some different segments like Comment Heroes of the Week and Teacher Frustrations and Weird Student Questions and Oh Shit Moments and all these things that I'm sure you've heard on other teacher podcasts. But who's going to do it better? So, I'm really excited. This is the end of sports for me, going straight from, even with the COVID season, we went straight from football to track, and track is going to be ending, and then I'll get some time off before football starts in the summer. But by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably already be in football, so it doesn't matter, but damn, I always want to have 2-3 jobs, I guess. My email signature can be super long. Speaking of which, there's some people that literally have email signatures that are about 35 different things, even stuff that's expired and just old and doesn't need to be on there. For example, if you have your master's degree, you don't need to put your bachelor's on there. You don't need to include the fact that you were the committee chair on something in 2017. It's the year 2021, unfortunately, so you should probably get rid of that thing from 2017. Anyways, and it is what it is. It's the same thing with the people that send those different emails trying to boast about what they've done, and you're just like, yay, good job. You're patting yourself on the back in an all-staff email. Whoo! Say it with me, everybody. Prom king. Employee of the month. Employee of the month. Woo! Self-appointed employee of the month. Employee of the month. Self-appointed. And this email signatures, I can't be too cynical, though. I really can't, because at least during Teacher Appreciation Minute, scratch that, Teacher Appreciation Week, scratch that, it's shared with it's just appreciation for the underappreciated week, kind of a week. They sometimes give it, you can give us money, but instead they're going to give us a discount at Red Robin. Yum. No, I got this certificate. I got it pulled up right here. This is the big thank you from our district here in Chicago. It's a certificate of appreciation for our teachers and staff, loving teachers out loud. Let's ignore what we've been doing for years and years and years at the bargaining table to said teachers, but loving teachers out loud. A Officially, it says Teacher Appreciation Week, May 3rd to 7. Is that a full week really then? Is it? 2021. But here's the thing. It's that the certificate, it's in the form of like an image, HTML, and then image below. So you can literally copy and paste. This is a screenshot that I have, luckily, but you can copy and paste because it's just a generic, like, whatever your email is, there's a formula that I'm sure some algorithm could pull out and that's presented to me. It puts the high school, no typos this time on my name, so nicely done. It says, words cannot express our appreciation for all that you do. We are grateful for the lives you touch and the impact you have on the students of Chicago Public Schools each and every day, especially the dedication and resilience you have displayed throughout the past year. We are proud to count you among our own, signed Janice Jackson and LaTanya McDade. Let's ignore the fact that they've been saying that we just don't want to go to work because they claim that we're not working from home, even though we are, and it's a big pain in the ass when we were doing remote learning, and now we're doing hybrid, and it's a pain in the ass, and they're not going to talk about that, but they're going to pretend like all along they've been appreciating teachers. Yikes. So, needless to say, I feel super appreciated with this generic 1990s background certificate that, I mean, I know there's a lot of employees. We got to be realistic here, but wow, the hypocrisy here of revisionist history. That's revisionist, right? Going war to war, toe to toe, war to war with the teachers, and then and pulling out this shit after saying like, well, y'all need to get back to work and all this shit. A little tone deaf, if you will. So I don't know. The policies right now are insane for our students that just, hey, how are you getting your students to pass? Do you want me to just drop every grade? Because that's where we're at right now. Like, dropping like 6 grades. It's like more than we've already got in the thing. There's like 8 grades for like I don't know, 14-week span or some shit. Like a lot, basically less than 1 a week or something. And that's the key to success. They don't care what we're doing to try to motivate them. Movie days are hard, by the way, because you got to do it to kids that are in person, but also kids that are remote, and everything pretty much blocks it because they see that you're streaming, and it's not like I'm trying to be a pirate with the movie stuff. I'm just trying to play it as a teacher. Just help me out, Netflix. Help me out, Apple. Help me out, Paramount, with your DVD stuff that won't play. Anyways, seems like a weird situation all around, but it is what it is. I'm getting plenty of weird excuses from kids, but they're getting weaker. At first, it was stuff like, it's not letting me turn it in. You're like, what do you mean? It just won't let me turn it in. So what's it saying on the dialog box? It won't let me do anything. Okay, well, what's it telling you on your screen? It's not working. Okay, so do you want help, or is this just your excuses? It's like they get big fan of Alicia Keys. She can start, super talented. She can start any concert and just go, "Eee," and everyone will cheer. Look it up. Apple Music Awards, Alicia Keys, and people cheer for her. She even at one point just goes bloop on the piano, and everyone's like, yes, Alicia, woo! And she's earned it. Let's be honest. She's earned it. But my kids start to sound like, I imagine Alicia Keys when she's introducing somebody at an award show. That's what my students sound like, when she'll be like, this artist, yes, everyone. They are so talented. My muse. Amazing. That's my kids when they're trying to give excuses for why they didn't do their work. Teacher. Amazing. Favorite teacher for this class period. Favorite male teacher for this class period. The work you give us, the way you push us and motivate us, just the subject you teach. What subject do you teach? The subject you teach us is just, you teach the subject you teach us better than anyone else. You are my inspirer. I need you to drop 18 assignments for me. That's what it reminds me of. The excuses we get. Oh, the assignment we had 3 weeks to do. The economy. What are we, if not humans in this weird race we call life? It's like, what are you talking about? But this is where it's at. They're losing excuses at this point, saying like, oh, I don't know how to hit turn in, even though the turn in button's very obvious. And it's like, well, you turn something in Last week. What do you mean you don't know where the turn-in button is suddenly? This seems convenient, doesn't it? But that's where we're at. So in the same vein, though, this seems like a good opportunity for us to get to our teacher confessions. Confession number 1, which is subsequently one of the only main confessions. It's going to kind of go off the rails from there. We'll see how it goes. Dear students, we don't just sit in front of our computers until 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, midnight, whatever. And then when you ask us, did you grade the assignment I just sent you? About 2 minutes after you turned it in, we don't just sit there and go, yes! They turned something in! At like 2 we're asleep. Or planning. Or we're tossing and turning because of the high quantity of students that are not doing the work. So no, 9 times out of 10, I didn't grade the assignment you turned in at 3 in the morning on a Friday night. Thank you. Send him to the sky, Daddy. Now, this is fun. CPS CEO, I mentioned this in Teacher Appreciation Minute, what was that, 2 episodes ago? She is resigning. Also, the chief executive officer, Jackson, and the chief education officer are both stepping down or getting different jobs, whatever it is. Maybe they're going to run for mayor, who knows. And we thought that would be a good opportunity to put out an ad, because they sent out an email to staff and students saying, help us find our next CEO. So that seemed like a great opportunity for me to take a crack at it. So let's just pretend this is a want ad, a help wanted ad for the chief executive officer of Chicago Public Schools. So, help wanted, chief executive officer, Chicago Public Schools, must perpetuate inequity while throwing around common education buzzwords. Minimal teaching experience preferred. Must not have the best interests of students or teachers in mind. Inquire within. Wait, I liked this one. These are me, by the way, all me. I got one from Adam too. We'll have Science Adam. He's gonna chime in. Wanted, CEO of CPS. Must hire inept leaders of networks. Past financial controversies preferred. Inquire within. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Let's pull up the one that Adam actually sent in. Let's see if I can find that in time. This is me on the iPad thing. Let's see if we can play it. Because Science Adam, I put him to the task as well. You know what? He's not doing anything else. He's certainly not teaching science. So here we go.
Are you a tone-deaf narcissist with a lust for power and no desire for effective change? Do you want to dramatically decrease the quality of life for your underlings while enriching your own? Is the North Korean government not hiring? Apply today.
Science Adam. I heard the first 10 seconds of it and I was like, let's just do it live. That was great. I love the tone of it. It sounds true. Are you a blah, 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 blah. That's beautiful. That's truly. I feel like I got showed up on my own podcast, and that's okay. I'm going to give you that win, Adam, because, you need one this year. It's been a while. It's been a few years. About as long as you've had your hair cut. As long since you had your hair cut. That's whatever. Let's have if you're at home, have a drink. Be like, help wanted. Leader of the greatest district to pretend they're the greatest must continue to push fake data that doesn't allow or show how much students are struggling. Must fake data that doesn't show how much students are actually struggling. A lack of self-awareness. A lack of self-awareness preferred. Lack of accountability as part of their leadership model, a must. Inquire within. So if you're looking to become the next CEO of CPS, maybe you're a teacher with 1 year experience, you could qualify. Call now. Who knows? Anyway, let's get to our comment hero of the week. This is a, well, you know what? Fuck it. We'll play the thing and you hear the thing. But our comment hero of the week, I only got one because it was that cringy and I didn't want to do an education one this time. But we'll get to our comment hero of the week. Welcome to the comment hero of the week. When someone's being an ass in the comment section, but they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
What's going on is you failed fucking social studies.
Or when you see someone call that person out, they are our comment hero of the week. Yeah! Even though some heroes do call out those idiots, remember, don't call out a comment hero in the comment section. You can't fix them, and you can't fix stupid. All right, our comment hero for this week, by the way, don't engage, truly. I've failed on that advice once or twice. That's why we have a couple bad ratings, and they haven't even listened to the show. So, who gives a shit? This one is a story from NBC Chicago. If you couldn't tell, we're from Chicago over this podcast. Shout out. If you want to send in a comment hero, by the way, or anything else, it's at Classroom Brew on social media or classroombrew@gmail.com. And the article itself, Boston radio host told not to talk about Demi Lovato quits. So Demi Lovato came out as non-binary. Good for them. Fantastic. The ultimate thing is that I've noticed what your political political affiliation is. Let them do what they want to do. Does it really inconvenience? No. Just leave it be. Whatever. You want to be called whatever? Fine. I will do that. You know why? It's what they want. And I respect that. And you should too. Our comment hero is, oh boy, Jackie Myers, not Andy Dalton, saying, Jesus, Jackie, at least he's held on to his sanity. Everyone should be joking about this, nonstop. Who on earth could take this seriously? Now, Jackie Myers Dalton. Oh, Jackie Myers, Andy Dalton. Hopefully, gonna have the same fate as the Red Rocket. Is that the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton? I don't know. Justin Fields is gonna be the quarterback. Who knows? I believe when I looked up this lady. Now, granted, I already kind of know if there were like a starter pack for her. She probably has like one of those tripod motorcycles. Some sort of a shirt that says, try to take my Second Amendment. I don't know, some shit like that. Now, I try not to judge people, you know? I just want to point out, there's not much information on her. I don't know if she's using an alias. A lot of comment heroes that say ignorant shit, they use an alias because they're like, I don't want to I'm too edgy. No, you're just ignorant. The only thing that it really says, it says no workplaces to show. Could be unemployed. Who knows? Maybe she's a freeloader. Doesn't show her education. Doesn't show places she's lived. So that's good. Political views. Other. Oh, we think we know what you're going with. It's probably one of those people. Never mind. She identifies as female. So, okay. She wants to be called a certain way. So, okay. People are going to respect that. She's not going to respect you in return. But what's interesting is that she for sure made sure that her Facebook had her religious views to make sure everybody knows that she is Christians, plural. She is a Christians, which is interesting. Now, she decides, she's one of those people that post stuff like those generator things, like wanted by the FBI. So if she were, here's the ironic part, on Thug Life, if she were wanted by the FBI, it'd be for armed robbery, and it says her gender is actually male, weight 150, height 5'8", build large. She doesn't post much. I'm assuming that she got some backlash from the actual post itself. And you know what? Justifiably so. I think sometimes people really need to, I mean, the advice is don't engage a comment hero. I'm fully aware. But sometimes it's kind of satisfying to see what people say to it. Now, let's pull it up. We've got a lot of people. She got a lot of replies. 88 dislikes and stuff like that. She engages with it. People are saying that this is nonsense, or she's saying that this is nonsense and garbage. This type of thing needs to be squashed. Like, why do you care? People keep asking her, why? Where are you? Why does it hurt you in some way? And at a certain point, I think she checked out. So Jackie finally tapped out, and maybe that's why suddenly all of her stuff has changed. I'm assuming. Oh no, she didn't respond anymore. I'm assuming she realized I could probably get in trouble for some of these ignorant things that I'm saying, and she maybe shut up, or she probably at some point just dug deep, because you can't really change anyone's opinion, right? Even in a debate, people just get more entrenched in what they believe. But I love that people. So here's a legitimate comment here. This is Tiara something something saying, she's just a troll account anyway. Proving that most comment heroes just use an alias because they want to be edgy, say their ignorant, racist, political views without any backlash from their profession. Yikes. You ever notice, by the way, it's fiction and nonfiction? Like, why isn't it just like real and fiction? Like, why is it the non-fake version is the where? That'd be like, all right, we have a book, it's based on fantasy, and we have a book not based on fantasy. Someone should talk about that at some point. I don't know. Let's dive right into our weird student questions. And Grant, I want to really emphasize this because I know someone's going to say, well, there are no dumb questions. I'm aware. These are just weird things that made me pause for a second. If you have your own response to said weird questions from students, you can send those to me at Classroom Brew or classroombrew@gmail.com. Instagram, the biggest one, but Twitter also works. Facebook.com/classroombrew also works. But if you want to send in a question that you've also received, either as a teacher or maybe a parent, and your kid asked you something, you can send those to me as well. So let's dive into it. As you know, there is definitely no such thing as a stupid question, especially when you're a classroom teacher teaching students. That said, there are, on quite a few occasions, some very weird student questions. All right, now this one, we're keeping it minimal. This one I'm going to only do one this week because it was a doozy. And technically, this wasn't asked, but we have this app called Go Guardian. Some of you guys have whatever it's called to see student screens. So I don't know if it really qualifies, but you know what? My podcast, I make the rules. The question that was entered into Google, for context, we were doing an activity on Great Depression letters. We're doing what's the role of government, and when should the government get involved, and do they make the right decisions all the time? Anyways, like Roe v. Wade, like that kind of stuff. All that. And this student just, inquiry-based, probably just, needed to do a little bit of math, but the question the student typed into Google was, is anyone from the 1800s still alive? Yikes. So let's just pretend 1899. You do the math at home. Just right now, don't be scared. Maybe you're not good at mental math. That's okay. I just want you to sit there. Maybe you can send me the answer just in case you're my teacher. But yeah. Mathematics, no. Not possible, bud. But I understand. Sometimes at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, hell, even a 3 p.m. on a Tuesday or Wednesday or any day of the week with remote learning, it's going to be a rough time. So that was our weird student question for this week. Cheers. All right. Our last little segment here. And it's a doozy. This is the one where if you have a frustration, by the way, this is teacher frustrations. If you have one, please feel free. Again, send it to me, social media or email. But let's get right to our teacher frustrations. So we've got parents that are saying that teachers aren't calling and that they are concerned about their student failing because now they're aware of it. Let's ignore the fact that we've left voicemails and emails and G-chats and Go Guardians and Google Meet breakouts and Google Meets themselves and all these different parent conferences that they don't go to, and claiming they haven't received calls. My favorite is that I did have a parent that told me to basically, in no uncertain terms, I'm going to make it a little more entertaining, to fuck off, and they don't want to hear about their kid failing anymore. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. It's unfortunate, but that same parent is like, well, why didn't you tell me my kid was failing? What? What'd you say? So in other words, we've been hitting our heads into the wall just over and over for the past 9, 10, 11 months, whatever it's been. It feels like an eternity, but we'll quantify it into a school year. And you wanted us to call 801 times instead of just 800, despite you not really, no repercussions for the kid, no recourse, no follow through, sometimes no response, sometimes a rude response straight up. Like I've had parents that are telling me that we're overreacting and this is overkill and it's our fault. These kids got out of that call really fast. And yeah, that's my frustration there. The other big thing too is certain district level people who seem to be cherry picking a bunch of students that are truly failing all of their classes. And then they reach out to those parents from a CPS number as opposed to a random cell phone number that teachers are calling from. And they're like, so how come you're not calling this kid every single week? Basically shaming teachers related to their call stuff. Being like, I started off, I was calling like 10 plus times per week, like 10 or more kids, targeting that number to call and like letting people know. Now I've got no motivation left for it. We're in like week number 34 or 35, whatever it is, 36, who knows. I've got maybe 1 or 2 happen per week. That's pretty good, to be honest with you, especially considering all the meetings they have us go to, all the PD stuff we have to do as teachers, teaching itself, trying to get prep time. Don't even think about eating, you bastards, you teaching bastards. Don't even think about eating. Yeah. Like, honestly, what you want us to continue hitting our head against the wall? You're going to cherry pick these kids and just be like, well, you're not continuing to go. Sometimes it's not even the right phone number that you give us or the right phone number in Aspen. That's the stupid grade book system that we use, by the way. It's not the best. Shout out to Aspen, I guess. Yeah, I've called the security number for ADT. That's what a student had listed under their whatchamacallit. And the parent didn't work for ADT. Let me reassure you. So I've got ADT now. So no. Yeah. And my final teacher frustration for this week is that I'm basically in all of my classes dropping 6 or 7 assignments. I had one student that was like, well, why can't you drop more than that? And I was like, sir, or madam, or, yeah. If I were to drop any more than that, there wouldn't be any grades left, which is this whole thing related to empathetic grading. And by the way, I'm excusing stuff on top of it. It's not actually like 6 or 7 assignments, but it's pretty low. And let's be honest, I can't drop half the semester. You're asking me to drop 90% of it. It's like when the kids are like, I'm on vacation. Can I get the work from 2 months ago? What? Yikes. Now, if you were listening to this episode, by the way, this was available as a video podcast. You get regular video podcasts whenever I can try to make it happen, however it is, at patreon.com/classroombrew. In addition to the bonus content like behind-the-scenes stuff, bonus episodes that are only available to Patreon members, which are usually videos as well, the podcast merch, which is a Classroom Brew shot glass, koozie, and coaster. I didn't even point at the right thing when I said all of that. But, yeah, if you are a Patreon member, you're also going to be a member of the Patreon dedication song, which you guys will hear at the end of this episode, at the conclusion of this episode. That sounded way more official to say conclusion of this episode, so I'm going to go with that. But thank you guys so much for listening. Rate and review whatever app you're listening in. We're on Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff. Apple Podcasts, who cares? Give us that rating and review. Let us know what you think about it. And the biggest thing is to let a teacher friend know, or a non-teacher friend, who cares? If they like to drink and be frustrated and talk about it and have fun and laugh at it, because if not, they're going to cry, then let them know about Classroom Brew. But until next week, class dismissed.
Classroom Brew on Patreon. Koozies and coasters, shot glasses, bonus content and voting power. Lish Cromwell from Minnesota has 1,000 classrooms. That shit is crazy, but that's Minnesota. Leo Sanchez got a lot of land. He's been on the pod. It was really grand. He's teaching in person during COVID. Sabrina Bachman from Ohio teaches French class, but I don't remember French. Sorry for my teacher who taught me French. You were really cool, but that was years ago. This dude beat cancer, getting real strong. He posts it on the gram. He's a real badass. James Biner. That's fucking right, James Biner. Cindy Montoya from California. Lazy Teacher Podcast, that's a bad look. Definitely not lazy. Big time podcast fan. Melinda Bradley. She's from Florida. Wore PPE for her staff photo. That's Melinda Bradley. Classroom Brew. Check it out on Patreon.com.